let you know all of them tears gon' come and go. Baby, just gotta make up your mind that every little thing's gonna be alright.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing part 2 of my Q&A. Part 1 is already up on my channel. It went up on Monday, so if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. I'll link it in the description box down below. And part 3 will be going up on Friday, but today is part 2. I put out a video about a week ago now asking you guys for some questions so I could do a Q&A, and you guys absolutely smashed it with the questions and I got so many more than I ever imagined, and I've never had this many questions for a Q&A before. And because I ramble on for the longest time, I just thought it would be easier to split this into a 3-part Q&A. So Monday was part 1 and that is already out, and then today is part 2. Today is going to be the Instagram questions because I did also ask on both of my Instagram accounts for some questions, and I got quite a few on there. So today is going to be the Instagram questions, and then on Friday at 4 PM will be the final part, and that will be the questions continued on from YouTube. If you're new here, hi, my name is Zoe, welcome to my channel. Hit that subscribe button because I would love to get to 1,400 subscribers, and I'm like so close. And then my next kind of milestone is like 1,500, so if you want to help me get there, then hit the subscribe button, and if you want to join my hashtag onion ring crew, then hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. I can't express how like blown away I was when I got that amount of questions, and like in a short space of time as well. So thank you guys so much for that if you asked a question. Okay, so the first question is from Drew Wadsworth. He is one of my biggest supporters ever. He comments on all of my videos, and he messaged me this question on Instagram, and he asked, if you made an onion ring themed ride, what would it look like? What type of ride would it be? And what would the queue look like? This is like an incredible question. So if you guys don't know, I am obsessed with onion rings and I love them so much, and like especially the Alton Towers ones, like wow, they really are something else. I think I'd want it to look like Olympia looping at Winter Wonderland. I kind of like that concept because obviously it's loops, and I feel like because onion rings are obviously rings, it would need to be, the only versions I could have I think would have to be just like loops. So I think I would have it kind of exactly the same as Olympia looping, but instead of it being themed to the Olympics, I would theme it to onion rings, and I would have the loops look like onion rings. Or I'd have like, oh my god, how do I explain this? Like I would have onion rings going like all around the loops, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I would have it kind of like that. I've never ridden Olympia looping, so like I don't know what it's like, but it looks really good, and that is like the first thing that popped into my head when I read this question. What type of ride would it be? I would want it to be a roller coaster. I did originally think of maybe having it as like a dark ride or like a trackless dark ride, but I think I love roller coasters like more than any other ride, so I think it would have to be a roller coaster. What would the queue look like? I would have it so it's like you're kind of going through like an arch, but the arches are like onion rings. And then I would have free onion rings on offer. I would make sure, oh my god, I could do that after the ride actually, so when people come out of the exit, they could get given a bag of onion rings. And yeah, I don't know, I quite like that concept. Maybe I should try and do that on like Planet Coaster or something. I'm so bad at Planet Coaster. But maybe we could give it a go. I don't know. Do you guys want to see that? I don't know. But that was a really good question, so thank you for that, Drew. The next question is from Lewis Beemand18. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so I'm really sorry. But he asks, why haven't you been to Thorpe Park yet? I think it's just because I've never really been like attracted to it. until now, and like because this is my first year with a Merlin pass, I really want onion rings. Now I've been talking about onion rings, I'm gonna have to have some after this video. Anyways, I'm so sorry I got so distracted. Yeah, this is my first year with a Merlin pass. So I think in the past, because I haven't really had a Merlin pass or like anything like that, it's always been kind of hard for me to go to Thorpe Park, and because it is quite far away from where I live, like it's quite hard to get there. It would cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to get in, and also just finding the people to go with as well. Like I feel like I have more friends than ever right now, so, and then kind of like this time last year, I feel like I kind of didn't really have that many people, and I didn't know that many theme park people or just people in general. So yeah, I don't know, I've never really been attracted to it until sort of this year. I've been to Chessington, and I feel like the only enthusiast in the world that has been to Chessington and not Thorpe Park, but we couldn't go to Thorpe Park on the same trip as Chessington, just because of our circumstances. Like I think that's my business, and like I don't need to justify that. I don't need to explain myself. But yeah, like we just couldn't go, and I have wanted to go this year, and I think we did actually get free tickets from the Sun, but they were for a Sunday, and if I'm gonna go, I want to go on a quiet day, and also I was going to be working on that Sunday anyway, so I couldn't go. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've had chances to go this year, but they've kind of been taken away from me from like work and just money and corona. So but hopefully I can go next year, fingers crossed. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's just travel, having the money, having the people to go with. So yeah, but hopefully I can go next year. That is like my biggest goal for next year, is to go to Thorpe Park. Okay, the next few questions are from D Burrows, I think that's how you say it. The first one is, favourite theme park event? I'd probably have to say Alton Towers Scarefest. It was my first ever Scarefest this year, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the late night riding. I loved just being in Alton Towers kind of from the morning, and then just watching it go dark, like seeing the sunset and then watching it go a little bit darker, then a little bit darker, then eventually it would go pitch black, and it's the most like magical thing, and like it just proper hits different. And like being able to ride Wicker Man in the dark, like wow, that is such an experience in the dark, and it goes from like just average to like above the bar, like it's god tier in the dark. It's incredible. Smiler in the dark is also like insane. And yeah, I don't know, like it's not very often that you get to ride rides in the dark at any theme park. So Scarefest is like an amazing opportunity for that. I also really loved Oktoberfest at Alton Towers as well. And the one at Pleasure Beach looks really good, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But yeah, I loved Oktoberfest. It doesn't look like it will be returning next year, which honestly just like hurts my heart, because I don't know, it just holds like a very special place in my heart. So hopefully they just sort of haven't announced it yet, but I'm really hoping that it does return next year, although it doesn't look very likely. But yeah, I would say Scarefest is my favourite, and then Oktoberfest is like my second favourite. The next question is, do you like fast track, or do you think it should be scrapped? I don't have a problem with fast track. I think it's a really good concept. If you can afford to pay that money and you're willing to pay that money to skip the queues, then like why not? Honestly, just go for it, because it will make your day so much more enjoyable, and you get on so many more rides. And like it can slow down the main queue line sometimes, but honestly it hasn't happened very often to me. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I don't think it should be scrapped. Favourite attraction in a UK theme park that isn't a ride, e.g. the gardens, hot ice, etc. I love the Alton Towers dungeons. I did them for the first time this year, and I absolutely loved them. I was terrified to do them, but I'm so glad that I did, because I found like a new love and a new kind of appreciation for it, because I feel like it's really underrated, and not a lot of people talk about it. but like the amount of work that goes into it, like it's very clear to see the amount of hard work and effort that goes into it, and like it's like an experience, and it's like it's so worth taking the time out of your day to go and do it. And like it's an incredible attraction, and like the actors inside are amazing. It has the best boat ride you'll ever go on, because the theming in there is like honestly out of this world. Like it's insane, and I can't like express how much you need to go and do the dungeons if you haven't done them. They aren't as scary as I thought they were going to be. The only thing that scares me about it is the very last scene, including Molly Lee. She can go and suck my dick. Like I hate Molly Lee so much. That is the only scene that does terrify me, but apart from that, the rest of it isn't that scary, and like it's really fun and enjoyable. And I don't know, I think you'll come out of there and you'll want to do it again, and like I don't know, you'll just have this new appreciation for it. The next question is from Charlotte Geiler, I think that's how you say it. She says, what are drop towers like? Honestly, they are terrifying, but they are great. I did my first drop tower at Drayton Manor this year. It was Apocalypse, and when I tell you I was terrified, I was like shaking, and like I was on the verge of tears. Like I was so scared, but I just did it, and I fell in love with it, and I wanted to do it over and over and over again. I don't really know what I liked about it, because I screamed like going the whole way down, and like I was terrified. But I think I just like being scared, and I like the suspense. Like when you're just sort of at the top and you're waiting for it to drop, like the suspense just builds and it makes it really intense, and then all of a sudden you'll just drop, and it really made my stomach go weird. It tickled me. Like it was so enjoyable, and like the views I got from Apocalypse were insane, and I wish I was up there for longer to take it all in. But yeah, I don't know, I think they can be quite intense, and it does build up a lot of suspense, but I kind of love being scared, and I think that is the fun of going to a theme park, is like trying out all of these new rides, conquering these fears, and just being scared, because it gets your adrenaline going. And then once you've done it, you get the most incredible feeling because you've done it, and honestly you'll want to do it over again. They are very different to shot towers, and I think I still prefer shot towers. But I mean, I've only ridden one drop tower, so that might change if I ride any more. And it's kind of hard to describe what they are like, because I feel like we all experience rides differently. But they are very suspenseful, and they can be intense, but they are really enjoyable. Honestly, just hold on and just scream. That is what I did, and I ended up loving it. So Jay-Z Manic asks, favourite YouTube video you produced? This is a really good question. I really love the vlog that I did. I think it's called Scarefest Round 2, I think. I'll link it down below. That is the first vlog that I really started to change up my editing, and that is the first vlog that has like all of my cinematic shots in it and whatever. And I am so like proud of that vlog, because like the night before I kind of just thought to myself, right, I'm going to Alton Towers again tomorrow. I want to do a vlog, but I don't know what to vlog. Like it really got to a point where I was like, I just don't know what to vlog at Alton Towers anymore, because I'm going all the time. My vlogs are getting very repetitive. Like my opinion is very set in stone, and like it doesn't change very often. So it's kind of hard to find something to vlog unless I'm going with like someone new that I've never been with before. Then like it's really fun to go with them and like see their opinions on the rides and everything. But yeah, I was like, how can I make my vlogs better? How can I make them different? So the night before that, I did a lot of research on how to like make the most of using my camera, what settings to put it on, and then it came to the editing stage when I edited that vlog, and I just kind of had to play around with it, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And like I was really scared to upload it, because I was like, oh, people aren't gonna like it, and people are gonna think that I'm like trying to copy someone else and whatever, but like that wasn't my intention. Like I just wanted to really improve my game, and I find it so much fun doing those cinematic shots, getting creative. The editing, like it takes so much time, but honestly I love it so much. Like I only edit with iMovie, and I would really love to get like Final Cut Pro or something, but it's like £300, so like I can't afford to get that. But I would love it so much, because if I had Final Cut Pro, I feel like I could do so much more with it, and like I feel like my videos would just get even better. So I mean, Christmas present, if anyone wants to buy me a new camera, because my camera is broke. I'm recording on my old camera right now because my other camera is just destroyed. And then Final Cut Pro, that would be the dream. But yeah, I think that is my favourite, because I got so many nice comments on that. I had so much support from it, and ever since then I've just kind of changed my game, and I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's probably my favourite one that I've like produced. The next question is from It's Ollie01. Hi Ollie, hope you're okay. And he says, why do you hate Nemesis so much? And I know why he's asked this question, because he loves Nemesis so much, and he used to work on it this season. So like he really hates the fact that I hate it so much. But I just find it really uncomfortable. I hate the fact that it hasn't got a proper first drop. Like, why does it just dip and then go straight and then go into a drop? Like, what is all that about? That is the most uncomfortable bit on it for me. Like, I hate it so much. Yeah, uncomfortable, doesn't have a proper drop. It's not as intense as like everyone makes it out to be. And like that signpost that they have outside of Nemesis saying, warning, this is like the most intense ride you ever go on. Like, bullshit. It's like absolute bullshit. It's boring. It's too forceful in some places. I don't mind a little bit of force, but it's too forceful for me. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to love it. And you know what? Like, I actually hate the fact that I hate it, because I want to love it. Like, I really, really do. And I do try, and I have tried this year. Every single time I've gone onto it, I've gone in with an open mind, and every single time I've sat down, pulled that restraint down, I've been like, right, I love this ride. This is gonna be a good ride. I come off, my head is spinning, I feel dizzy, my whole body just wants to like collapse on the floor. I hate it. And I know a lot of people hate me for that, but it's just my opinion, and it's just how I feel. And I have really tried, like I really have, but I just can't. I've ridden it at night time, still hate it. I've ridden it on the front row, still hated it. I find it even worse on the front row. I think my favourite row is probably row 3. Like, that's the best ride I've had on it. I mean, it still wasn't great. I've ridden it on the back row. I just hate it, and I'm sorry, and I think I always will, but I just, yeah, for all the reasons that I've just said is why I hate Nemesis so much. Okay, a few questions from Harvey Lewis. The first one is, if you could operate any ride, what would it be and why? I would like to operate the Smiler, just to kind of see like what goes into it and what it's like and everything, because it looks like so much fun. So I'd really want to operate that. I want to operate the big one, just because like it's my favourite roller coaster, it's my favourite ride, I love it so much, and to see how it all works and how it's all operated like would honestly be a dream come true. Even just having like a behind the scenes tour of the big one and like getting to operate it myself, like how insane would that be? Honestly, like goals, like ultimate goals. Icon looks really fun to operate. I'd love to operate Icon. Basically just like my favourite roller coasters. So yeah, big one, Icon and Smiler basically. I would also like to see how other theme parks operate as well, and see how different it is to working at Gulliver's Kingdom. Because if you don't know, I work at Gulliver's Kingdom, and it's like a children's family park, so it's like completely different from Alton Towers and Pleasure Beach and like anywhere like that. I don't know, I'm just like, I'm such a geek, so like I'm so interested in like behind the scenes of like rides and just theme parks, and like I really want to become a rides manager and like just see how it's all done and how everything's operated, and like it's one of my like biggest interests ever. And like I'm such a geek, but honestly like theme parks is the only reason that I'm here. Like it's the only thing, well, that and Ariana Grande are like the only things that I live for, the only reason that I'm still on this planet. So yeah, but I don't know, like I would love to go and just work at every theme park and see how they all compare to each other and see all the behind the scenes stuff. I know it's very unrealistic and like it's not gonna happen, but I mean it might, like you never know. But yeah, I would love to go and do that one day. But yeah, I would love to operate maybe the big one mainly, then Icon, then Smiler. Okay, his next question is, favourite song on the Positions album? Mine's POV or My Hair. Okay, sorry, bye. Really good choices actually. I can't, honestly, it's so hard to pick a top 3 from that album. Like all of her other albums, I think it's quite easy to pick a top 3, like they're all incredible. But I kind of have a top 3 set in stone for all of her albums. This one, it's so hard to pick. Every single time I listen to it, it gets better and better and better. And I don't know how. I don't know how she does it. My favourite is probably Just Like Magic. I love that song so much. It's, apart from Positions, it's like the first song that I've learnt like off by heart. I know it word by word. But I also really love POV. I love Safety Net, I love My Hair. I love 34, 35, like oh my god, I love all of them so much. It's so hard to pick like a top 3, but I would say my favourite is Just Like Magic for now, because it changes like every week. Austin Gregory asks, what coaster do you want at Alton Towers next? I presume it says like, what coaster do you want at Alton Towers next? I don't know, this is really hard to pick because they kind of have everything. Like they have a B&M invert, they have a flying coaster, they have a wooden coaster, they have a spinning coaster. Like they kind of have a bit of everything, so it's really hard. I would love to see an SLC. Like, oh my god, I love Infusion at Pleasure Beach so much. It's like one of my favourite coasters ever. So I would really love to see an SLC go into Alton Towers, and I think it would work really well. Maybe like not next to Nemesis, maybe put it in like the complete opposite direction of Nemesis, like put it in the furthest away area that you can from Nemesis. I think an SLC would work really well in an X sector if you kind of themed it to that sort of thing. And if you maybe made the track like silver or something, oh my god, it could be like a robotic theme. You know, like Ariana's 34, 35 music video? It could kind of like be themed in that sort of way. Obviously not theme it to sex, but like that video is very scientific and it's very like robotic and it's very futuristic. So this is really making me want to play Planet Coaster, but I'm really bad at the game. Yeah, like you could theme it to that. So I'd really like to see an SLC go in, and it means I'd have an SLC close to me because I can't, like Blackpool is really far away from me, so I can't ride Infusion as often as I would like. So it'd be really nice to have an SLC so close to home. A water coaster I think could fit in quite well, maybe if they had the room, because obviously like Martini Bay is like a really small area. If they had room, I think a water coaster would fit in so well in Martini Bay. Maybe a wing coaster, I don't know. There's like so many options that they could go for. Even though they do have everything, there's still more that they could go for. But I would love an SLC themed to the 34, 35 music video. Like how insane would that be? And it would fit in so well with X Sector. Amore White Demon says, why the hate for Nemesis? I get these comments all the time, and I'm gonna make a separate video about it because I'm so bored of like explaining myself. It's uncomfortable, it's boring, it's not intense. I hate the first drop that isn't a drop. I hate it. period. The next question is from Chris MC128, and he says, if you could only ride one ride for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think I would have to pick the big one, just because it's my favourite roller coaster, it's my favourite ride, it's just everything to me, and I can't put into words how much I love that ride and just how much it means to me. Like, I don't think my heart is big enough for the amount of love that I have for that ride. So and honestly, like, every time I go on the big one, like, I come off and I'm like, let's do it again, and I want to do it over and over and over again. And it's a very re-rideable ride. Like, it's a ride that I can ride over and over and over again, whereas I feel like some other rides, like, once I've been on it, I have to take a bit of a break and go on some other rides before I get back on that ride. So, but I don't feel like that with the big one. I could ride it all day, and I would happily do that. So yeah, I would pick the big one, just because she is my baby and, like, she's everything to me. The next question is from EK Coasters, and they say, what helped you get over your fears of going on coasters alone? I don't really know. Like, this was actually quite a big fear of mine a few years ago. But I think the first time I did it was in 2018. I think it was like April. I don't know, I kind of just did it. I didn't overthink it. I was really scared to do Oblivion by myself. When I went to Alton Towers for the first time by myself this year, I was so scared to do Oblivion by myself, but, like, I really wanted to do it. And I think it was just that kind of determination of, like, right, I want to do this, and I want to prove to myself that I can do this, because Oblivion just shits me up, like, every single time. Like, no matter how many times I ride it, I still get scared. I still get to the top and I'm like, can I get off now? Like, it's still like an incredible ride, and I still love it, and I love the feeling of, like, being scared. So yeah, and then on that day, like, I was doing Wikipedia Controls My Day, and I think it was like the second or third ride or something was Oblivion. And so to complete the challenge, I had to do Oblivion. Like, I had to, otherwise I would have failed the challenge. So yeah, and I think that kind of just gave me the motivation, it gave me the determination, and I kind of just did it. And I didn't feel like I was on my own anyway, because there was other people on the train. The next question is from Amelia. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your second name. She says, is the pass worth it? I don't know what pass she's on about, but I'm going to presume the Merlin pass. It is so worth it. If you know that you're going to go to, like, Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington, Merlin attractions, whatever, if you know that you're going to go, like, loads of times, then, like, it is definitely worth it. And I've honestly had my money's worth, well, I've had my dad's money's worth out of my pass this year so much, because I have visited Alton Towers, like, pretty much every week. From September, I went every week, and I sometimes went, like, 3 times a week. Like, it was crazy, and I went more than I could have ever asked for, and more than I could have ever imagined. And hopefully next year, if we actually get a full season, I'll be able to start going from March until close season, like, loads. I probably won't be able to go, like, every single week, but hopefully I will. But yeah, like, hopefully I'm going to be able to go loads, and I'm definitely going to get my money's worth out of my Merlin pass. And I still have loads of months left on it as well, because they've been extended. So I think mine now runs out in, like, August or September next year. So it still means I have, like, half of next season still with my Merlin pass. So, like, it's incredible, and you get so many, like, benefits with it as well. Like, you get merch discount, food discount, free car parking. It's really good for, like, the dungeons as well, because you can get in for, like, £2.50. Yeah, like, and obviously it's really good for other attractions as well. So yeah, it is definitely worth it. I think any season pass is worth it. If you know you're gonna go, and you know that it's going to be cheaper to just get a season pass than to keep paying, like, gate prices, then, like, I'd say go for it, because it's so worth it. And even, like, with my Pleasure Beach pass, even though I haven't visited as much as I would have liked, I've still got my money's worth out of it, because I only paid, like, well, my dad I keep saying me, my dad has paid for it because it was like my Christmas present. My dad paid £80 for my 2020 Pleasure Beach pass, and I still went, like, how many times did I go this year? Twice for opening weekend. I went like 10 times in July. Then I went three times for my birthday. Then twice in October. So I think I've got more than £80 worth. So like, season passes are definitely worth it. The next question is from one of my bestest friends, Josh. Hi Josh, I know you'll be watching. And he says, why doesn't Galactica get the appreciation it deserves? Honestly, I wish I knew the answer to this question. Me and Josh love Galactica so much. It's an incredible coaster and it just gets so much hate and I don't understand why. Like, I don't know, I really love Galactica. It's smooth, it's just, it feels like an experience and like it's different to any other coaster that we have in the UK, so I think it deserves so much more appreciation. I love the theming. I don't know whether you can tell by my bed cover, but I love anything to do with like space and the planet and like anything like that, so I really love the name Galactica and I love like the re-theme and everything. And yeah, the only thing I don't like about Galactica is the brake run, because me, Josh, Kaya and Dom all got stuck on it the day before the last day of the season. We all got stuck on it for like 10 minutes on the brake run, and I know 10 minutes doesn't sound like very long, but honestly it felt like hours and I got so uncomfortable. When I got off I felt dizzy, I felt nauseous, like it was, I had neck ache, like it was the worst experience ever. But apart from that, I love Galactica and it deserves so much more love and appreciation. Luke Foley asks, what do you think Pleasure Beach are doing to reimagine Valhalla? I honestly don't know. Like, it's very secretive and it's all kept under wraps, which I kind of like. I kind of hope that they don't give away too much in the lead up to its opening. Like, it's now been delayed until 2022, which is like so understandable, I think. But I've never ridden Valhalla, so like I don't know what it's like kind of in the first place. I only know from a POV, so yeah, like I don't know how different it's going to be, but I'm just hoping that, like, I've heard so many times that like the effects haven't been working and like it's kind of needed this to make it better, so I'm really hoping that they can actually get the effects working. They can add in more effects. Like, I don't know whether they're going for like a full re-theme or, I have no idea, and it's all very secretive, but I kind of like that and I really hope it stays like that until it actually opens, because I think it's sometimes best going into a ride not knowing what to expect, and it all, especially for a ride like that where you can't see from the outside what's going on. I think for a ride like that it's really good to have it sort of kept under wraps and have it all kept secretive. So the final Instagram question and the final question for this Q&A comes from Aaron Challoner Official, and he says, would you love an RMC Raptor coaster or B&M dive coaster at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? I've never ridden an RMC, but I really want Grand National to be RMC'd. I never used to agree with people when they said RMC Grand National, because I love the heritage, I love the history, but it's not an endurable ride anymore, and like it's so rough. Like, something needs to be done to it, whether it be a retrack, whether it be new trains, whether it be RMC'd, like I don't know, but something needs to change, because it just, I feel like every year it's gotten more unenjoyable to ride and it's gotten more rough. And yeah, it's like, it's probably the worst coaster at Pleasure Beach now, I'd say. Like, I prefer Steeplechase over Grand National, like that's how bad it is. So yeah, but I mean, I've never ridden an RMC, never ridden an RMC Raptor coaster, so I think I would like a B&M dive coaster at Pleasure Beach. I feel like it would work really well because they can build coasters at any level they like. Like, the thing is with Alton Towers, they can't build above tree level, whereas Pleasure Beach don't have that problem. So well, I don't think they do anyway. So imagine a B&M dive coaster at Pleasure Beach. Like, it would work so incredibly well. I think maybe put it like, I don't know whether like they probably wouldn't have the room, but like put it next to Skyforce and like put it around that area. I think that could work really cool, and that would be a really cool thing to see. And I love Oblivion, so I think experiencing something like that in Pleasure Beach would be incredible, and I think they could add like a few inversions in there or something. And yeah, I think a B&M invert would work really well. Not B&M invert, no, not B&M invert, B&M dive coaster. Yeah, it would just work really well in Pleasure Beach, I think. And like Pleasure Beach don't really do like theming and everything, so like I don't know, and I think dive coasters are quite hard to theme anyway, so they wouldn't have to worry about that. So I think it would work really well in Pleasure Beach. So there we go, those were all of the questions that I got from Instagram. Thank you guys so much for asking these questions. Remember, if your question wasn't included in this video, it will be included on Friday's video, or if you haven't seen part 1 of this Q&A and you haven't seen Monday's video, go and check it out and your question might be on there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys for part 3 and the final part of this Q&A on Friday at 4 PM. Bye!